Hello students, hope all of you are doing good and staying safe. In our last session we discussed the exercise 3.1. Today we will start with exercise 3.2. Exercise 3.2 is based on graphical solutions as well as the concepts what we had discussed in the previous session. Right. So for this exercise, in the first question you will require two graphs, right? So whatever graphs I draw over here, please make sure that you are using graph papers if you have it, right, and drawing it in your graph papers, right? So let us start. The first question is, ten students of class 10 took part in a mathematics quiz. If the number of girls is 4 more than number of boys, find the number of boys and girls who took part in the quiz. So we have to find the number of boys and girls. We say that let the number of boys be x and the number of girls be y. Now, first sentence is that total students is 10. Right? Is stands for equal to. Total student means the number of boys plus the number of girls. That means x plus y is equal to 10. That is equation number 1. Right? Total students means boys and girls together, that is what? 10. Okay, after that, the number of girls is 4 more than boys. Once again, wherever you have this word is, you place a equal to sign. The number of girls we have supposed as what? Y, so here we keep a y. 4 more means plus 4. So you have y is equal to x plus 4, that is your second equation. Right, now to plot the graph for both of these equations, what you are going to do is make two tables. One is for x plus y is equal to 10 and second is y is equal to x plus 4. Right, now the equations are easy. So what am I going to do is, suppose I take the value for x as 5, y also will be what? 5. Suppose I take the value for x as 4, y will be 6. If I take x as 6, y will be 4. So in other words, I have 5 plus 5, 10, 4 plus 6, 10, 6 plus 4 is also going to be 10. On the other way around, y is equal to x plus 4. So if I take x equal to 2, y is going to be 6. If I take x equal to 3, y is going to be 7. If I take x equal to 1, right, what is y going to become? Y is going to become 1. Right, so this is what you have for making your graph. Right, how to draw the graph, we'll see it. Now keep one thing in mind, that I am not using a scale to draw a graph. Right, so you have to carefully draw the graph in your graph paper and find the solution. Am I clear? Right, so first we were told that the total number of students in the class is 10. So we wrote x plus y is 10. Then you had 4 more, the number of girls is 4 more than boys. So girls were taken as y, 4 more than boys is x plus 4. Then using both the equations we made the table for making both the graphs. So please take down this much and then we can proceed for drawing the graphs. So first was for x plus y, we had taken 4, 6, 5, 5 and 6, 4. This is x plus y equal to 10. The second one was y is equal to x plus 4. So I guess I have taken 1, 5, 2, 6 and 3, 7. Right. Now what we are going to do is first draw your x-axis and y-axis. Over here, mark right. I have the values for x up till 6, so I will mark the values on x-axis up till 6. Here on the y-axis I have up till 7. Right? Now normally on the top right hand corner you have to write a scale. Right? The scale on both the axes is same. That is on x-axis and y-axis 1 centimeter is equal to 1 student. Right? That means it covers both boys as well as girls. Right? Now for the first point 4, 6, x4 and y6. Right? x5 and y5 and x6 and y4. Right, you draw your first line. Then you have x1, y5 for the second line, x2, y6 and x3, y7. Right. So what I suggest is in your graph, please draw this particular graph, right? If you don't have a graph paper, you can use your notebook, but draw these particular values with the help of a scale. Keep the distance between each of these values as 1 centimeter. Right, once you finish with that, please plot these particular points in that graph paper or your notebook and see what your point of intersection comes out. Right, you try where does the point of intersection come out, then we can see, or then we will discuss together exactly what is the solution. Right, so please take a couple of minutes and then we can proceed. Okay, so roughly you will get the intersection point corresponding to 3, 7. Right? When you draw the graph, plot all these particular lines, points, and then join the line, you will find that the value for x will come out as 3 and the value for y will come out as 7. That means the number of girls is 3 and number of girls is 7, number of boys is 3. Are we clear? Right? So that is your first graph. The second one what we have is a very simple one, same as your exercise 3.1, question number 2. Right, on comparing the ratios A1, A2, B1, B2, C1, C2, find out whether the lines representing the pair of linear equations intersect at a point, are parallel or coincident. I'm sorry, that was question number 2, right? Please neglect that right now. We are going to look at the second sub question. 5 pencils and 7 pens together cost rupees 50. 7 pencils and 5 pens together cost rupees 46. Find the cost of 1 pencil and 1 pen. Now, let cost of a pen be rupees X and cost of a pencil be rupees Y. Now in the first sentence we are given cost of 5 pencils and 7 pens. So 5 pencils and 7 pens. So 5y plus 7x, that is how much? You can say 50. Then you are given 7 pencils and 5 pens. That means 7y plus 5x is equal to what? 46. Right. So this is equation 1, this is equation 2. Right. Now as you see, it is going to be difficult for you to plot that particular table. Right. Because of the values you see over here, whatever we have as the coefficients. But there is one interesting fact regarding the coefficients over here. 5 is the coefficient of y in the first equation and that is the coefficient of x in the second equation. Over here, you find that in the equation 1, 7 is the coefficient of x, that is the coefficient of y in the second equation. So what am I going to do is, I add these values. I get 12y plus 12x is equal to 96. Right? So 12 into y plus x is going to become 96 and thus y plus x is going to be 8. Right? The only purpose of doing this particular process is to make your equations easy. Right? Plotting the points for x plus y equal to 8 will be very easy. So that is why I do this particular process. And I am doing this only because you find that these particular coordinates or coefficients what I see are interchanged. Right, now what should I do next? I will subtract the 2. Subtracting 2 from 1. So I get minus 2y plus 2x. Right, what am I going to put a minus sign everywhere? That is going to become 4. And thus, minus y plus x is going to become equal to 2. That is, I can say x minus y will be equal to 2. So these are the two equations which we have to use for plotting our particular graph. Right? So please take down this much. Then we can proceed for first making the tables and then drawing the graph. Okay, let us proceed. First was x plus y equal to 8. So here we will have 4, 4, 5, 3, 6, 2. Alright, I am simply using very easy numbers to make the table, right? 4 plus 4 is 8, 5 plus 3 is 8, 6 plus 2 is also going to be 8. Right? The second equation we had was x minus y equal to 2. So here I am selecting, say, 6, 4, 5, 3, 4, 2. Right, wherever I subtract 6 and 4, 5 and 3, 4 and 2, I am going to get a 2. Right, now, if you see in both the tables, there is a common value 5, 3. So it is obvious that our intersection is going to happen at 5 and 3. Right, so let us now plot the graph. Maximum value for x is 6 and maximum value for y is 4. So I am going to mark it up to those respective numbers. Right? When I want to write the scale on x and y axis both, 1 centimeter is 1 rupees. Right? Now the first point, 4, 4. Second point is 5, 3. Next point is 6, 2. Join a line. Next point 6, 4. Then once again the 5, 3 common point and 4, 2. Right? Once again we join the line. So 5, 3, that is the intersection point, is going to be your solution. Right? We had taken the value for x as a cost of the pen. So cost of pen is rupees 5 and the cost of pencil is rupees 3. Right? Now does it satisfy your equation? Right? First equation was 7x plus 5y was equal to 50. So if I go for 7 into 5 plus 5 into 3, I get 35 plus 15, that is equal to 50. Next equation will be 5x plus 7y is equal to 46. So that will be 5 into 5, that is 25. 7 into 3, that is 21. That is going to come out as 46. Right? So please take down this much and then we can proceed to question number 2. let us proceed to question number 2. So I repeat that question one more time, right? On comparing the ratios A1 upon A2, B1 upon B2 and C1 upon C2, find out whether the lines representing the following pair of equations are intersecting at a point or are parallel, or we can say coincident. So this is without using the graph, we have to decide what type of lines are given to us. Now the conditions, that means how we are going to solve the particular sum, right, was based on ratios which we had discussed in the previous session. So first we will write these particular equations given in the standard form, and once you have written them in the standard form, then you are going to compare the ratios, right? So for the first equation, right, the values for A1, B1 and C1 are 5, -4 and 8. Right, please make sure that your equations are in the standard form. That means on the right side it should be 0 and everything else should be on the left side. Right, if I look at the second equation, values for A2 7, B2 6, C2 is going to become -9. Right, now always start with the ratio A1 A2. That means A1 upon A2 is 5 upon 7. B1 upon B2 is -4 upon 6. I can reduce this to become -2 upon 3. So here I find that A1 upon A2 is not equal to B1 upon B2. Therefore, lines intersect at a point. Right? What is it? Lines intersect at a point. Right? Please take down this much, then we can proceed to question 2. Okay, proceeding to question 2. My second question, you have the value for A1, B1, C1 as 9, 3 and 12. For A2, B2 and C2 they are 18, 6 and 24. Okay, start with the ratio A1 upon A2, that is 9 upon 18, that is 1 upon 2. Second ratio B1 upon B2, 3 upon 6, that is also 1 upon 2. So you find that the ratio A1 upon A2 and B1 upon B2 come out equal. Only then you look for the third ratio. Right? Only then you find the third ratio. Unless and until A1 upon A2 and B1 upon B2 do not come out equal, you don't have to find the third ratio. In this case we have to. So C1 upon C2 is going to be 12 upon 24, which is going to be 1 upon 2. Therefore we find that A1 upon A2 is equal to B1 upon B2 is equal to C1 upon C2. Therefore, lines are coincident. Right? That is a condition for lines being coincident. Right? So once again, please take down this much and then we can proceed to question 3. Okay, let us proceed to question number 3. The third equations you have A1, B1, C1. First, the values for A1, B1, C1 will be 6, minus 3 and 10. Values for A2, B2 and C2 are 2, minus 1 and C2 is what? 9. Okay. So first I look for the ratio A1 upon A2, which is 6 upon 2, that is going to be 3 upon 1. B1 upon B2 minus 3 upon minus 1 is 3 upon 1. Right? Now only because the first two ratios are coming out equal, I am looking at the third ratio. The ratio C1 upon C2 is going to be 10 upon 9. So you have that A1 upon A2 is equal to B1 upon B2 is not equal to C1 upon C2. Therefore I can say lines are parallel. Right? Lines are how? Lines are parallel. Right? So please go through this, then we can proceed. Okay. Now, question number 3. I read the question. On comparing the ratios A1 upon A2, B1 upon B2 and C1 upon C2, find out whether the following pair of equations are consistent or inconsistent. Right? So up till in question number 2, we were discussing on the basis of the given equation that the equations were given or were giving what type of lines. Here, on the basis of the equations, we have to decide whether the equations, right, not lines, whether the equations are consistent or inconsistent, right? Now, normally in mathematics, with respect to chapter number 3, we can say that the pair of lines which give any solution, may it be 1 or may it be infinite, right? May it be 1 or may it be infinite, they will be referred as consistent equations. While those who don't give any solution, that is the parallel lines, they will be considered as inconsistent equations. I repeat one more time. On the basis of chapter 3, the equations who give at least one solution or infinite solution are considered to be consistent equations. While those who don't give any solution, right, those who don't give any solutions, that is parallel lines, are considered to be inconsistent equations. So there is nothing new what you are going to study as a formula or a concept. It is just the previous concept, but now we are going to use them for using different terms. That is consistent and inconsistent equations, not lines. Right? So we proceed in the same manner. Once again, we decide A1, B1, C1, A2, B2, C2 from the given equations. First look at the ratio A1 upon A2, then B1 upon B2, and only if needed C1 upon C2. Right? Sure. Question number 3. First sub question. A1, B1, C1. A1 is 3, B1 is 2, C1 is minus 7. I'm sorry, minus 5. Now why am I writing minus 5? Because I told you in the previous question that the equations what you have to form have to be in the standard form. That means the 5 what you see on the right side will be shifted on the left side. Thus the sign becomes minus 5. Next, A2 is 2, B2 is minus 3 and C2 will be minus 7. Am I clear? So A1 3, B1 2, C1 minus 5, A2 2, B2 minus 3 and C2 minus 7. Right? So what am I going to do is, first look for A1 upon A2. That is 3 upon 2. B1 upon B2 is a 2 upon minus 3. That means what I see, the first two ratios A1 upon A2 is not equal to B1 upon B2. So as per the previous question, they are representing intersecting lines. Intersecting lines means only one solution. So right now we are not considered they are with what type of lines. We are considered how many solutions? 1 or infinite. So here we have 1, or even if it is infinite, we can therefore say equations are inconsistent. I'm sorry, equations are consistent. Right? We remember this, please all of you, that equations will be consistent, inconsistent. Right? Lines will be intersecting, parallel or coincident. Right? So please take down this much and then we can proceed to question 2. Okay, question number 2. We look at the values which are given to us. A1, B1, C1 will be 2, minus 3 and minus 8. A2, B2, C2 will be 4, minus 6 and minus 9. Right? So first we go for A1 upon A2. It is 2 upon 4, 1 upon 2. B1 upon B2, minus 3 upon minus 6, 1 upon 2. So what I find is the first two ratios A1 upon A2 and B1 upon B2 are equal. Right? Only then I find the third ratio. That is C1 upon C2 is minus 8 upon minus 9, which is 8 upon 9. Right? Therefore I find that A1 upon A2 is equal to B1 upon B2 is not equal to C1 upon C2. Therefore, lines are parallel. But we don't want this. We want the information regarding the equations. Since lines are parallel, that means no solution. Therefore, I can say equations are inconsistent. Right? So once again, please take down this much, then we can proceed to question 3. Okay, look at question number 3. Okay, first A1, so I can say 3 upon 2. You can also take the LCM and then find the values, right? And then B1 is 5 upon 3 and C1 is going to be minus 7. Right? A2 is going to be 9. B2 is going to be minus 10. And C2 is going to be minus 14. Okay, first I go for A1 upon A2. So it is 3 upon 2 whole divided by 9, which is going to become 3 upon 2 into 1 upon 9, which is going to be 1 upon 6. B1 upon B2 is 5 upon 3 divided by minus 10. That is 5 upon 3 into 1 upon minus 10. What I find is this will cancel to become 2, and I get it as 1 upon minus 6. Right? So 3 upon 2, 9. 5 upon 3, minus 10. Therefore I find that A1 upon A2 is not equal to b1 upon b2. Therefore, I can say lines are what type of lines? Intersecting. But we don't want this information. We want the information regarding the equations. Okay, fine. Lines are intersecting, that means there is one solution. And if the equations have one or infinite solutions, therefore I can say equations are consistent. Am I clear? Equations are going to be consistent. That is what you have as your third question. Right. Now, today I am going to give you a small homework. That is, for these particular questions, you will attempt questions 4 and 5. And you will attempt question number 4. Now, what is question number 4? You have to draw 4 graphs. Once you draw those 4 graphs, looking at that graph, you have to decide whether the equations given over there are consistent or not. Right? I'll verify one more time. Yes, you have to decide which of the following pairs are consistent or inconsistent. So same as what we have done over here. And if they are consistent, you have to obtain the solution graphically. That means same as we had done in question number 1. Right? First decide whether they are consistent or inconsistent. Right? How are you going to decide? In the same manner what we have done over here. Then if they are consistent, that means if the lines are intersecting or if they are coincident, then what you have to do is obtain the solution graphically. Right? So once you are done with that, then we shall proceed to question number 5 and question number 6. Right? Please complete this much, then we can move on to question number 5. Okay, question number 5. Half the perimeter of a rectangular garden whose length is 4 more than its width is 36 meter. Find the dimensions of the garden. Right? Half the perimeter of the rectangular garden whose length is 4 more than its width. So, I say let the length be x and the breadth be y meter. First you are told half the perimeter is 36. So first is will convert to equal to 36. Half the perimeter means half means 1 upon 2. Excuse me. Perimeter is going to be the formula twice length of breadth. So 2 and 2 cancel. So x plus y is going to be equal to 36. Then length is 4 more than width. Width means the breadth, right? So once again, is we put a equal to sign. What is length? Length is x, right? 4 more plus 4 than what? Width. So x is equal to y plus 4. So using these two equations, you have to find the dimensions. Right? Right now we know only one method to find dimensions, that is a graphical method. So as we had done the graphs in question number 1, in the same way you have to plot the points and then draw the graph, and wherever they intersect, that is going to be the solution. Right? What is that? That is going to be your solution. Right? Remember, the value for x will come out more than the value for y, because x is the length and y is the width or the breadth. And always in a rectangle, the length is more than the breadth. Okay, fine. Right? So you are going to plot the graph, and after plotting the graph, you are going to find what the point of intersection is. That point of intersection will be your solution. Right? So please take down this much. Plotting the graph is your homework. Please finish it. We will discuss it in the next session. Right? Please. Okay, we move on to the next question, that is question number 6. It reads that given the linear equation 2x plus 3y minus 8 equal to 0, write the linear equation in two variables such that the geometrical representation of the pair so formed is intersecting lines, second parallel lines, third coincident lines. Right? So we'll understand the question one more time. You are given an equation. Right? You are given one equation, and normally in the chapter we have discussed pair of linear equations. So the question is asking you to make a pair. In fact, you are asked to make three pairs, in which one of the equations should be the given one, and the second one should be such that the pair so formed will be a pair of intersecting lines, second a pair of parallel lines, third a pair of coincident lines. Right? So here you have to apply the logic what you had used in your second question, where you were deciding the type of lines based on the ratio of the coefficients. So here, if for the first question I write my equation as 5x plus 7y minus 3 equal to 0, and then I make a pair of the given equation and that of, you can say, the next equation, what I see is 2 upon 5 is not equal to 3 upon 7. And since 2 upon 5 is not equal to 3 upon 7, first given equation and the equation I wrote right now will form a pair of intersecting lines. Right? That is over for question number 1. The second sub question is to write an equation in such a way that the given equation and the equation what you write will form a pair of parallel lines. Here I will not think much. I will keep coefficient of x and y same. I will just change the constant term. So what happens? 2 upon 2, 1. 3 upon 3, 1. Ratios are same. So we have to look at the ratio C1 upon C2. Minus 8 upon 7, not equal to the first two ratios. So they form a pair of parallel lines. Right? That is over with question 2. Now you have to write the third equation such that the given equation and the third what you write form a pair of coincident lines. So what am I going to do is multiply a specific number. Say I multiply a small 2. So what happens? 2 into 2 is 4x. 2 into 3 is 6y, 2 into 8 is minus 60. So when I consider the given equation and this equation together, they will form a pair of coincident lines. Right? So that is what we have for exercise 3.2. Right? Of course, there is a question number 7, but that is a graph. You are going to draw that particular graph. Right? So question number 3, I have given you 2 questions. Question number 4, there are 4 questions, right? Question number 5, I have made the equations, you have to make the graph, and of course the last question, question 7, you are going to make the graph. So in all, if you can count, 2 questions from 3, 4 questions from question 4, that means 6, then the graph of question number 5, 7, and the graph of question number 7. That will be your homework. Once we are done with this, then I will give you your first worksheet for the 3rd chapter, right? And then discuss the solution later on, right? Till then, thank you.